everybody. You're listening to the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed on WMNH 95.3 FM. No calls today, please. This is pre-recorded, another best of show for you. But so recently on the program, I had the honor and privilege of interviewing a fellow WMNH host, Rob Azevedo, and we talked about his new book, and it was a great conversation. Got to not only talk to him about the book, but got to know Rob a little bit more than I already did, and learned a lot from it. It was a really great discussion. Rob, of course, also hosts a show here Fridays at 6 p.m. Right here on WMNH called Granite State of Mind, where he does his part to support local music, and that's another thing that I really, really love about the guy. But so in case you missed it the first time, here it is. Like I said, I thought this was a really great discussion, if I do say so myself. But Rob's an interesting guy to talk to. Take a listen. Joining us here in the studio, a very special guest. Many of you will already be familiar with him because he does host a show here at WMNH, although that's not the main thing we're going to discuss today, although we'll probably talk about that a little bit. But the great Rob Azevedo is here.
Hello, hello.
Is it weird being on the couch?
No, actually, I like being on the couch. It's nice to be the person being interviewed every once in a while.
There you
I get
go.
to sit back.
And I'm going to hold up the book here for people watching on Facebook so you can see it. So this is Rob's book. I read this last night, most of it last night, and I finished it this morning. Notes from the Last Breath Farm, A Music Junkie's Quest to Be Heard. So here it is. And I really love the book, Rob.
Thank you.
You know, it's a light read, so I was able. Plus,
Sure.
I read quick, but it's the kind of book. Once you start it, you kind of want to just keep going. You know what I mean?
Good deal, man. That was half the point.
Yeah. Oh, we already have a call. Wow. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Oh, hey, this is Eric. I want to say hi to both of you fellas and wish you a happy Thursday. And I'm going to be listening to the whole show, and I'm looking forward to your interview.
I know that voice.
So,
That's
have a
Mr.
great show.
Eric.
Easy G, yes.
Hey, Eric, how you doing, pal?
Good. That was a great show the other day at the Bookery. Even though I wasn't feeling the best, I came out and saw your show, and you had all the musicians in there, and I think that Jasmine girl is going to be
Jasmine
playing at the Pride Festival coming up at the 15th.
Which festival is it?
That girl you had, Jasmine, I think.
Yeah, Jasmine's the best. Jasmine's the best.
She's
She
playing
plays
at the Pride Festival.
Oh, the Pride Fest, yes.
On the 15th.
Yeah, she is. I know for sure she is. I think she's the headliner.
Yeah, I know all those people you brought in. I know you brought a lot of magicians. They were all very.
Oh yeah,
excellent.
they're my gang.
I'm gonna have one of them on my on that little show called Peter White Morning Show. Katie Dobbins coming in August 5th.
I think
Dobbins. I love Katie.
I think they're actually musicians. Is the term? I don't think they're. I didn't see anyone doing magic.
Well, what they do, that Jasmine man, she pulls some magic out of her mouth. That's for sure.
I would have let it.
So looking forward to the show. So have a great interview there, Matt, and I'll be listening.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
I would have let it go if he'd only said it once, but he said it twice. He said magicians.
Pete would have been all over that. Pete would have been chewing on him for that.
I know. We've been giving Eric a very hard time lately. But the phone line is open, so if anyone has a question or a comment or anything at all for Rob while he's here, 603-250-6007 is the number to call. 603-250-6007. Or you can always chime in the Facebook live chat as well. I see Fred Bonig there. Hi, Fred. Fred sent me that song to play to open with. Joshua Howard is in there. Rhonda, Christian Collins, Ricky Huber, Dr. Jeff Cassell, Bob Burrell. So we got a full house, which is wonderful. But yeah, that was a great event at the Bookery. And have you been doing others as well? Have you been making the rounds?
I've done one up at New England College in Concord. We did the one at the Bookery, which was outstanding. It's such a great store. Yeah. And great support down there. And the mayor showed up out of nowhere, which was cool. And by the end of the night, I know you had to leave. You had things to do. But the mayor was crying at the end of the night.
Was she?
Oh, yeah, man. Full tears.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I loved it.
Oh, wow.
So mission accomplished. And then tomorrow night, I'll be doing another reading down in Exeter at the Word Barn at 7 o'clock with two other poets. So that's a pretty big thing. Yeah, the Word Barn's some real heavy hitters head down there. So I was very thankful to be asked to go down there.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yeah, I heard, and I did hear, by the way, your interview with the interview Peter White did with you, and I thought that was great.
Oh, thanks. Pete's awesome.
And absolutely. And I got to tell you, so reading this, I mean, some of it was hard for me only in the sense that I really could relate to a lot of what you have gone through. The stuff about, you're talking about your childhood a lot in this, and I myself, like growing up, I was very much an introvert, and I was just terrified of everybody.
Okay.
And I could really kind of relate to a lot of that insecurity and that feeling of not fitting in. And
yeah. Well, I did my best to fit in. I think I ran the middle ground. I was your typical kid that was fitting in, but not fitting in, but mostly terrified on the inside. Constantly had a stomach ache, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my house, my mother and my father didn't have the best relationship. If you looked at it from the outside, we lived in a big brick colonial. We lived adjacent to a golf course. Father did well, but the inside of the house was could be an inferno of emotion in there.
Yeah.
So you kind of just had to duck and cover and kind of hopscotch around whether my mom was in a good mood, whether my father was ready to blast off with holy hell.
Yeah. And you talk in here about what your mom used to say to you.
Yeah. Yep.
And what is it that
my mother would say to me all the time, who do you think you are?
Right.
And the only acceptable answer was, nobody, Mom, nobody. And she would reassure me, and she'd say, you're damn right, you're nobody, and don't you ever forget it.
Yeah.
And it always stuck with me, and I never liked it. I remembered it as my teens. I remembered it into my 20s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I needed to be somebody, like a number one. I just needed to be something more than a nobody.
Right.
So I think that's sort of what has motivated me to be heard. Like I talk about a quest to be heard, to be a writer. And then I got into making short films. That's another reason. I think, another reason why. And then when I got on the radio, when I got a radio gig about 8 years ago, what's the reason? We could ask anybody who's in this forum. I could ask you. We could sit here like, why are you on the radio? Why do you feel a need, Matt, to be on the radio? There's something that fulfills you about it.
Yes.
There's something that gets you up out of your apartment. This is like what I say too. Gets us off the couch. Gives us a sort of self-satisfaction, I think.
Yeah.
Something about contributing.
Right.
And I don't know if that's right for you, but that's it for me.
No, I mean, I think that is it. And I know for me, too, it's almost kind of a form of therapy, you know, because I got a lot going on in my head and here. And it's such a blessing to have the opportunity to do a show here where, they pretty much leave us alone.
That's right.
There's no one trying to control our content, so we can do what we want with our time here. And it's really, it's really wonderful. And that's a big part of why I do it. Kyle Heavey, host of Off the Mark Sports here at WMNH, is in the Facebook live chat.
Love that dude. Good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle says, keep on rocking in the free world, gentlemen.
Baby. Yeah, baby.
Wayne Noel is in there as well. Rhonda says, yep, no one knows what goes on behind closed doors. You are not alone, buddy.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you.
And Ben Dion, another one of our hosts here at WMNH, also is in the Facebook live chat.
He's a great guy.
So absolutely. Yeah, no, we have a great crew here. We're very fortunate.
We do. We're very lucky. And like I was talking to Pete about it, and you and I, me, you, Pete, Kyle, Ben, we all know, we have great management here.
Yes.
I work at a couple different stations, and I can tell you, it's a totally different ballgame down here. I never hear from the other station manager.
Yeah.
And it's not like we need to hear from Joe or everybody else. It's just they leave us, let us do our thing.
Yes.
But we respect that they let us do our thing,
right.
And we don't act like clowns about it.
Right.
We're trying, like I said to Pete, I said, when I listen to Pete in the morning, which I do every day, and I listen to you in the afternoon and stuff like that, we approach things as if we're making Howard Stern money, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it's not about the money. It's about creating something that's going to entertain the listeners, inform the listeners, and if we get lucky, influence the listeners. You know?
Yeah, no, that's a great way of putting it. So we should talk about Granite State of Mind a little bit, too, because that's, of course, Fridays at 6 p.m. here.
Yeah. Yep. And
then
Thursday nights, 7 o'clock at WKXL 103.9 up in Concord.
Okay.
Yeah, same that radio station, it goes up into the lakes and up 89, and then obviously here we spread out down 101, down 93, out towards, the Bedford area and all that.
And it wasn't always on KXL, right?
It wasn't always on. It started out 8 years ago on WNHN 94.7 FM, another even smaller radio station. And I got I was down my basement one night, and I get these things in my head in the basement, which is easy to do when I'm down there. And I just said, I think I want to try to be on the radio. And I went and pitched the station manager there, and he gave me a 3-week tryout, and he said, sure, I'll give you 3 shows to do.
Yeah.
And me and my good buddy Dave Cummings, who back then I had a co-host for about a year, and it's been 8 years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love it. I still love it.
Yeah.
Like Friday nights down here, it's like my favorite hour of the week, man.
Yeah.
The work week is over. I've got somebody coming in to entertain me.
Yep.
And I leave here and I pop over the Wild Rover after, and it's game time, you know?
And you didn't have any experience, right? Prior
None.
to starting?
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. It's like, I wish I had done, I did a lot of writing in college, but I wish I had worked at the radio station.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the balls to do anything about it, like a lot. Here I am. I got all the balls in the world when I'm in the 40s, right? But
sure.
where was I when I was a teenager in my 20s?
That's another thing about you that I got from the book that I can really relate to.
Tell me.
Because I often describe myself as a late bloomer in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I don't think you ever used that phrase and that term in the book.
I would never call myself a late bloomer. What I was a petrified, a thorny, petrified.
Yeah.
I was, on the outside, I was like either too cool for school to do something like that.
Right.
But in truth, I was just a terrified little prick that just didn't have the balls to do it.
Right.
When I see my kids, I have a daughter that's at Central High School. I have a son who's up at Hillside heading to Central next year. And all the things that I've seen them do, from be in band, be in orchestra, try out for this, I didn't do that stuff. I wanted to do the stuff, but I didn't have the guts to do the stuff.
I can relate.
And now I wish I was in band, man.
I
wish I was in orchestra.
Yeah.
I wish I had gone into drama and acting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish I worked for the AV department in the junior high. So, audiovisual department. I didn't do that. So,
right.
That's not my mother's fault. That's not my father's fault. That's my fault.
Do you ever feel like, because now you've been very prolific with everything that you've done, like reading the book, I didn't realize like all the films and everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about, I kind of had an inkling, but I didn't know a lot about your career in that realm. Do you ever feel like you're kind of making up for lost time in a certain sense? Trying to push yourself and...
You know what? No, because I don't do anything that I don't want to do. I don't rush anything that I want to do now.
Yeah.
I do only what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to sit down at night and go write a column down the basement, I go write a column if something's with me.
Yeah.
I don't stress too much about it.
Yeah.
If an idea comes to me to make a short film, whether it's a documentary, a rockumentary, or just a short film, then I go down the basement and write it. After I write it, then I'll start thinking about, all right, how am I going to make this a movie?
Yeah.
Where am I going to get the $2,000 to make this a movie? Where am I going to find the guy to shoot it and edit it? Because I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm at the pace that I want to be at. I'm doing it. And the book was sort of like the final thing that I needed to check that off. Since I started writing in college, I always wanted to walk into a bookstore and see on the binder, Azevedo. I don't even know what whatever the title was going to be.
Right.
And I never in a million years did I think it was going to happen until it did happen.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. And that's the best way to create, right? To create because you want to.
Yeah.
Not because you have to.
Yeah.
Not because you have to meet a deadline or do something that someone's hired you to do that maybe you're not that into.
Yeah.
You know,
Matt, I talk to people about it, and they're like, how do you do all this stuff? I get these ideas that people will say to me, man, I get these ideas in my head, right? But I don't do anything with them. And I say, well, shame on you, man. This is because I learned it.
Yeah.
I say, shame on you. Those ideas come to you for a reason. They come knocking on your door.
Right.
And now it's up to you to act upon it. Like, you probably wanted a radio show at some day. You're very much into politics. You're well-versed on politics. And here comes an opportunity at WMNH, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You could have kicked the can down the curb and not done it, or you could have said you could have grabbed the opportunity and taken it, and you did, and you ran with it. Not making up for lost time. And so people say to me, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. How do you do it? You just do it.
Right.
And I hate the word journey. I can't stand.
I wanted to ask you about that because I heard you say that during your conversation with Peter.
Yeah,
but you never really explained.
I'm not a big fan of the word journey. I think it's overused. I can't stand when if I see on Facebook or somebody writes, "Oh, you've been on such a journey." I just think it's such an easy word.
Is it too zen? Is it too?
No, it's too flat. It's almost too suburban.
Yeah,
it's almost too suburban.
Yeah,
it's not a journey, because so people will say to me, you're on this journey, and I'm like, you could be on the same quest as I am. I mean, and there is no time limit. There's no deadline. There's not a bell that's going to go off and say, "Oh, you're fulfilled now," or you've done it. You know what I mean, Matt?
Yeah,
there isn't the what you get out of it, the satisfaction that you get out of doing anything, whether it's in the arts or radio or physical activity, is your quest, and it's the actuality of doing it.
Right.
That's where you get your satisfaction. That's where you.
Yeah.
And stop me if I'm talking too much, but if I'm in the basement and I'm writing a column, right? I love to take a shower after, because all I'm doing, I get such satisfaction. I get to go upstairs and I'll be like, all right, I'll edit this tomorrow morning. And then I sit in the shower and I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel fulfilled. I feel like I accomplished something.
That's awesome. Yeah. Did you shower a lot after the column that you wrote in college?
Spanking it.
People will have to read the book to know exactly what. You can. I don't know how much you want to say about it, but
it was a tongue in cheek. Back in the early '90s, before there was websites like Barstool.com. Where all I was writing that sort of column.
Yeah.
I would have fit in right in with the Barstools. You know what I mean? And a lot of it that I wrote, whether it was about sex or whether it was about masturbation or, drug use and stuff like that, I cringed when I went back and read the articles when I was researching and writing for the book. I cringed at what I wrote. It was a very popular column, popular to the point where, there was an edit. People couldn't stand it. Adults couldn't stand it. Students loved it. The president of the college had me in and he said, "You got to stop doing this." And I was just like, really not in the mood to hear it. And it's I got the legal right to do it. And I'm thinking, God, later I say I'm such an a-hole. And then an editor up in Lincoln ran portions of it trying to, chastise me.
Yes.
What happened to her, man? She lost so much business. The people went crazy. How dare you reprint this stuff?
Right.
So I did. It was called Spanking It. And so you figure it out. And
there's a great story in there about some guys at the college who were upset with you.
Oh yeah, man. Football players would. I was in the weight gym, and I used to bust. I used to go after the people who I would think could take the busting.
Right.
I wouldn't go after. I wouldn't go after the little man. I would go after the big man.
Exactly.
And I always knew, it would cost me a beating here and there, or. Something like that. So these guys, they were like, "Did you read what this kid wrote about us?" And I'm sitting there and I'm like lifting and I'm like, "I was the one who wrote that about you." And sure enough, they found out it was me, but they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Well, which we're happy about. Kyle says in the Facebook live chat, we just need Peter to join the Facebook view to be all together for the first time in a while. Oh, that's true. Yeah, if Peter were in here, we'd have all the hosts on here at once. Oh, hello to Rocky Huber, who says very inspiring. And hello to Frank Potato. Frank and I used to be in a band together many years ago, so very cool. Are you already writing something new? Because I also remember in your conversation with Peter, you were saying you were already looking for the next book.
I know. My publisher, George Gears up in Concord, Plaid Swede Publishing, right after, because I finished writing the book about 9 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking for a project. So, like, within 2 weeks after we had coffee and he wanted to talk about sales and stuff like that, and I have a number I have to hit, which is good. And I said, all right, I'm ready to go again. I said, I want to send you a little treatment of what, I want to write next. I want to call it Notes from the Last Breath Farm, Volume 2, Queen City Blues. And I want it all about Manchester.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just looked at me. He's like, are you serious? And he's like, you're not much for living in the moment. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm ready to go, George. And he's like, yeah, I'm not. I want to see I want to see if this one sells. And I'm like, all right. And so as my day job, I've worked for 100 years selling home medical equipment. So I'm a numbers guy as it is. You give me a number, George, and I'll hit that number.
Yeah.
So I think I got to sell like 500 or something books. And I think we're already almost halfway past that.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the book's only been out for
about a month.
Okay.
Month to 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. That's that's fantastic. And can you explain the title? Because I'm sure people are very curious.
Notes from the Last Breath Farm. That is literally a title that I have had in my head since early 2000s, I would say, probably 2005. And I remember when I came up with it. It's a Warren Z. Notes from the Last Breath Farm. Okay, all my favorite books, Matt, have been notes. Notes from The Underground by Dostoevsky. That's one of my favorite books of all time. Notes from Cold Harbor by Frederick Exley, one of my favorite books. So I wanted my book to be titled, if I'm going to do this one time, then I want the exact title. I want it to, so I wanted it to be called Notes. Last Breath Farm comes from a line of a Warren Zevon song called Detox Mansion. I've gone to Detox Mansion way out on Last Breath Farm. I've always liked that. I figured, okay, so Last Breath's got to do, sort of goes with last gasp, last chance.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Farm, we're in New Hampshire. It's bubolic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want a kind of rural title. So I just said, okay, let's call it Notes from the Last Breath Farm.
Yeah.
My publisher was, anything I said, he was like, let's do it.
Yeah. And obviously you were able to talk him into the cover, because I remember also you said on Peter's show that he said he had never put out a black book.
Never put out a black book. That's Brendan.
Brendan is phenomenal with graphics.
Yeah.
He did all the logos for the shows here, and Brendan's amazing.
Yeah, and the publisher was like, so,
I should I'll hold it up again so people watching can see the cover.
You.
Yeah,
thank you.
I don't know how closely they can see it, but although I did post a picture of it earlier too.
Yeah, thank you very much
on the Facebook page.
I wanted it to be black. One of my favorite books is by the French writer Celine, and I've read his book. I think it's a Long Day's Journey into Night, or that might have been. Anyways, he's got a book something like that, and his cover was black, sort of just like this, and it always stood out to me. And Pete said, and other people have said, they said, man, that stands out from all the other books, a black book. So there it is, my black book.
Yeah.
Not the kind of one I like, but that's my black book.
So there's a lot of great stories in here. There's one, there was one that really bothered me that this happened to you. And it just, I bring this one up because it relates to something. I talk on the show a lot about the war on drugs. And there's a story in there about what happened to you
in Nova Scotia.
In Nova Scotia that for me was upsetting on multiple levels. I mean, partly because I feel badly that you went through that on a personal level. And also, too, more broadly, I feel badly that anybody has to go through that.
That was rough. Rough. Well, my wife, our very first day of our honeymoon, we decide to head up to Nova Scotia, go to Portland, Maine, and take the boat over to Nova Scotia, and then just tool around Nova Scotia for our honeymoon, just drive around. She brought, what did she do? Every once in a while I'll imbibe, so she brought a joint for me, surprised me, and I'm like, oh, outstanding. This is great. So the night before, I think I ripped into it a little bit on the boat, and then I tucked it away, and we're getting off the boat in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, and we see the Border Patrol going to cars, left. but they pointed to me and they went right. And they pointed me right over to a building, just randomly.
Yeah.
Just me and my wife. And then we get there and they're like, we're going to go through your car, random search. And they found some stems, they found some seeds in there. Mm-hmm. So they're like, okay, this is what we're doing. They take us both in the office, a couple female border patrols, take my wife, strip her naked, if you believe that. Now, me, I didn't care about getting naked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't the first time I'd been arrested either. So I felt horribly that she's in that situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they let us go.
Yeah.
But we both got strip searched. And she's a pretty mellow lady, without having to imbibe, believe it or not. And I'm like shaking. I leave and I'm shaking all the way to like around the coast, heading to our hotel. And I'm like, she falls fast asleep. But yeah, we got strip searched, the whole car stripped, but they never found the rest of that joint, man.
Right.
The joint was down in a corner pocket of something. And I see them reaching in there and I'm like, good Lord, man, what are they going to do? It's Friday. It's flipping Friday. If they dare lock us up for this, we're going to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. And then I'm not going to, then Mondays, maybe you go to a court for a joint. I don't know how it works in Canada.
Yeah.
But they let us go.
And this was, quite a few years ago, too.
This was in the year 2000.
So, So however it worked then, nearly 2 decades ago, is what you probably would have been in more trouble than you would be now.
Yeah, very much so.
Certainly. Actually, they went full legal, didn't they, Canada?
I don't know.
I think they did. So actually,
all I know is
now,
that New Hampshire hasn't somehow.
So in a way, I mean, it's like on the one hand, this was obviously a terrible experience, but at the same time, it could have been much, much worse.
It could have been worse, and I got a great story out of it.
Right. That's true. That's true. I thought that was one of the most compelling things in the book.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah, but again, too, for me, I mean, everyone's going to get something different out of it. For me, it was it surrounds an issue that I care a lot about. So.
Drug enforcement?
Yeah, I'm so against the war on drugs, and I call it the government's war against the American people, or in this case, maybe the Canadians' war against the American people.
Sure.
But the other thing too I wanted to mention is because you talk a lot about Hunter S. Thompson, and I'm not as familiar with him as it sounds like Peter is. But I just, do you remember the show? This is one of those odd memories. No one remembers this except me, but maybe you'll remember it. Do you remember the show Friday Night Videos?
No.
You don't? Okay.
On MTV?
No, it was on NBC. You're a few years older than I am, but we're basically the same generation. So it would have been on, like in the 80s. Mm-hmm. It was on NBC on Friday nights. It was called Friday Night Videos. And they would have a couple of celebrity hosts every Friday night, and they would introduce the videos. Okay. The show was kind of pointless because MTV existed, but for some reason NBC did this. There was an episode of Friday Night Videos. I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was Hunter S. Thompson.
Really?
And Keith Richards.
Oh, yeah. I know that interview.
You do?
Oh, I know the interview.
Yeah. I think it was from Friday Night Videos. And it's just so funny because I just remember as a kid watching it, and it kind of seemed like they were in on the joke. Because clearly the joke was, it was very difficult to understand either one of them.
Oh, that's no joke. Okay, so I know the video. Okay. I don't think there's a piece of footage of Hunter Thompson that I haven't seen.
Oh, okay.
Number one. So I know that Keith went out to Woody Creek, Owl Farm, in Colorado. And it was like, the meeting of the two mad scientists. One guy's a writer, both, heavy alcoholics, both big into drug use.
Right.
No, neither one of them could talk. And Hunter Thompson, he was even worse. He was just mumbled through the whole thing. And
maybe it was just funny to me because I was a kid. I remember watching it and thinking it was funny because I couldn't understand what either of them were saying, but they understood each other.
Yeah.
They clearly understood each other, even though I couldn't. So it was just very, very funny to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's like if you could get back in the day, if you could get Hunter Thompson and Keith Richards in the same room, that's a party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is a party.
Absolutely.
But I got big into Hunter Thompson when I worked at the school newspaper in Plymouth. I went to Plymouth State.
Yep.
And I was made, de facto editor of the arts and entertainment section. So I would get these books sent to me. It was great. So one day I pick up a book. I used to have to write these little reviews, and it's this book of interviews with a woman doing a book. Ex-girlfriend of Hunter Thompson's did a book on him.
Oh, wow.
He was still alive. And I was like, I don't know. I was captivated by it. And then I read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and I was like, my God, I didn't even know people were allowed to write like this.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much when I really got into writing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Rocky Huber says, LOL, he looks like the usual suspect in Canada. Jenny says, what was the hardest part to write?
I would say the very first lines, because once I wrote those lines, who do you think you are? Nobody, Mom, nobody. You're damn right you're nobody, and don't you ever forget it. I knew once I wrote those that the book had started, and I knew I was in cruise control after that.
Yeah.
Because I had it. I just knew that was a great opening.
Mm-hmm.
I had my hook. But then you have to write about your mom the way I did, and it was hard. It was I had to be honest. I had to be honest with the reader. I had to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to my mother had some very tough traits. She was a fiery, hardcore Irish woman who could flip on a dime. She could be loving one minute and then just, tear me down to shreds the next minute. So I was always on eggshells around her. And I had to be honest, and I had to write about it. I have a big family, and I had to think about what the ramifications would be. Them reading that stuff about my mother. And my mother died last July, and I don't want to say, I'm glad the book came out when she had passed.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Could you have written that if she were still alive?
I would have.
You would have.
I would have.
Yeah,
We would have had a sit down chat, and I probably would have broke her heart. But in the book, if you read the book, you got to keep reading.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, she kicked my ass as a kid. But like Louis, the cab driver, he just called me and him. He periodically calls me, if you know Louis.
Louis Applebaum?
Applebaum. So he just called me around 3:30 just to shoot the breeze. And he was like, your mother loved you. If she, think about Robbie. If she didn't say that stuff to you, where would you have been? And you're right. You're right. Maybe I wouldn't have been motivated to do some of the things that I do.
Right.
So that was, the stuff about my mom was very, very hard.
Yeah.
And, but, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The writing game is, it's easy if you can just make it up, or you just do the real fluff stuff. I don't know. I could have painted a much softer picture, but I painted the picture that was real.
No, but to be fair, you do. I mean, you explain how you kind of never knew, like when you woke up in the morning, what it was going to be with your mom and whatnot. But then you also say, though, but she was a great mom. I think the line you use is, you said, "Don't let me sell it any other way."
Don't let me sell it any other way.
She was a great mom.
Yeah, and I can be a bit of a prick myself. You know what I mean? It's. My mother fed me. She bred me.
Yep.
I never went without clothing, without 3 meals a day, without haircuts, all of that stuff. For her to be as tough as she was verbally, she must have had her own host of problems that I was too young to understand.
Right.
She's a mother there. She was in her 30s. I know 30s aren't easy on any mother.
Yeah.
She had 3 other kids. Her and my father didn't have a very loving relationship. So, I was getting some shrapnel. And I later learned, I figured out when I was older that, those shots that she was, welcome to Manchester.
Yeah.
Those shots that she was taking at me probably weren't even intended for me. They were probably intended for my father, but she didn't either have the guts to say it to him. And as a parent now, I have my own kids, and sometimes when I'm ripping into my own kids, right? Sometimes when I'm ripping into my own kids, I sometimes wonder, am I yelling to them about what they did, or am I yelling about something else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I misdirecting it, and I'm just using them as a punching bag? for something else because
well, some of that's human nature, right? I mean,
yes.
people do that anyway, even outside of parenting. Just in any kind of relationship, people will take things out on other people.
Bosses do that.
Yeah.
I think bosses do that.
Everyone does it. I mean, it doesn't make it okay, but it's something we all do, and we're all guilty of to some extent. So, and your dad's kind of a tragic figure in the book.
Yeah, my dad. You would have never known it. He was a furniture guy, delivered furniture for Jordan Marsh downtown Boston. And then he said when he was downtown Boston, all he would do is unloading furniture. And he would see these guys in briefcases and suits, and he'd be like, I got to do that. That's what I want to dress like for work. Took an insurance test, studied his butt off, became a very successful financial planner in downtown Melrose. Had an office up there. And him and my mother ended up getting divorced. He got cleaned out. But up until like the last month and a half of his death, when he died of cancer very quickly. When my brother and my two sisters, we went to find out, okay, what's he got? He was $45,000 in credit card debt, and he didn't have a penny to his name.
Yeah.
This was a guy that was probably pulling six figures for 20 years.
Yeah.
And you just never know. But he had too much pride to let us on. He put a little bit of money away as an inheritance and stuff like that. But we had no idea that he was plumb broke at 70 years old.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart, man.
Yeah.
I still haven't touched his inheritance money. I have it still. He's been dead for maybe 10 years, and I still have that $15,000 sitting in an account somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just haven't touched it.
Well, you said in the book too, like you still have his number in your phone.
His number's right on my cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still can't delete that. And me and my father he was a tough guy too. He was a hothead too. But for some reason, me and him got along pretty well.
Yeah.
I understood. I understood him. I understand. I think he had a tough childhood.
Yeah.
He had a tough mother. He had a brother who died, an older brother that died very young in high school or something like that. And his mother used to make him, when he was a young kid, carry his lunchbox in the same way that his brother did and wear his collar up the way that his brother did. And she would see him walking down the street going to school in East Cambridge, and she would yell down, Bobby, put your collar up like Al did. Put your lunchbox in your hand like Albert did.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
No kidding.
Yeah, a lot of mental mojo going on in the Azevedo household.
Yeah.
We're all a little touched.
Yeah. Well, Rob, I know you have to go soon.
I appreciate it, Matt, so much for having me on.
Oh, I'm so happy that you were able to come in. And is there anything you want us to know that we didn't talk about?
Well, that Notes from the Last Breath Farm, the book, it's available down at the Bookery, and it's on Amazon.com, or you can go to New Hampshire NHBooksellers.com. And if anybody's kicking around down on the Seacoast tomorrow, 7 o'clock, I'll be reading from the book at the Word Barn in Exeter at 7 o'clock with a couple other poets.
Very nice.
Yeah, man. So,
very nice.
But thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
And it's great to be a co-host with you and all the other cats.
Always wonderful to talk to the great Rob Azevedo. Don't forget Granite State of Mind Fridays at 6 p.m. right here on WMNH. And we're going to go from a really wonderful guy to a not-so-wonderful guy. Up next, we're going to talk about megachurch pastor Kenneth Copeland. And this was a pretty fun segment. I think you'll enjoy this. Next up on the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Well, no, this will be fun. So my friend Matt DaCosta, who's been on the show, he was actually here that day for Matt Connarton's Smooth Jazz Experience.
I thought that was Easy G.
Well, Eric was here for the first part. Matt was here during the second part. But he shared something out on Facebook earlier. It's Kenneth Copeland. He's one of these megachurch pastors who flies around in a Lear jet and has lots of money.
Well, he made a lot of money off of the Police, right?
Off of the Police?
Yeah. Was he the drummer of the Police?
Oh, no, that's Stuart Copeland.
Well, then he was the manager because the brother manager.
Oh, right. Yes, it could be.
Or is that Miles Copeland?
That might. I don't think that's him either. I'm not sure. But so Inside Edition, I went and found the full interview. It's 12 minutes of glory. 12 minutes of glory.
Are you going to put it on the wall?
You'll hear it in your headphones.
Yeah, but if it's on the wall, we don't have to wear the headphones. The wall has to be good for something.
No, because the sound doesn't come out the speakers when the microphones are on.
I thought it came out of the wall.
No. That'd be weird.
What was what? Well, you know,
No, the only thing that comes out of the wall is the ghost of John McCain.
I have been a consistent reformer.
We know.
Consistent.
Yes. So let's listen to some of
Using
this.
the R word again.
We'll have some of this. This is so Inside Edition, which apparently still exists. That's the
good one.
That's the show that
I was wondering that too.
That's the show that Bill O'Reilly was on, right? Where he started out before Fox. Inside Edition. We'll do it live.
And he was a sportscaster in Boston a long time ago.
Oh, okay. I knew he'd been on in Boston. I didn't know he did sports.
So.
Actually,
now he does history.
I'll read the description before I play this from YouTube. Televangelist Kevin Copeland enjoys a life of luxury. He has his own airport next to his mansion in Newark, Texas, where he keeps his private jets.
It's God's will.
Yes.
And Jesus, too.
He wants him to be, he wants him to have abundance. Clearly, it's because he's so
Praise
holy.
the Lord.
Yes. When Inside Edition's chief investigative correspondent Lisa Guerrero caught up with him in Branson, Missouri,
build the wall, baby.
He spoke to her at length about his lifestyle and why he says the jets are important to his ministry.
Takes him closer to God.
All right, let's listen to some of this. This ought to be good. Make sure there we go. Whoop. Ooh. I got to back that up. I got to make sure it's at the very beginning. Here we go.
How are you, sir? We'd just like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial. Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. Why do you think that?
No, it's true. Things. Not the people. The main reason is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing. Ooh. That's really the main.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid.
So he's getting really frazzled. I guess no one's ever asked him these questions before.
Well, the mamby-pamby liberals like yourself, Matt, or whatever your Yeti name is, you think that's unchristian. But what about Christ after he created the money exchange, driving the moneylenders out of it, you know?
Yes.
So, they could trade in cryptocurrencies and stuff like that.
I believe he also
was very aggressive.
He created the Federal Reserve, didn't he, before he was crucified?
No, that was the devil.
Oh.
The devil himself.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's a very un-Christ-like thing.
That's why we need to audit it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And there is a Christian auditing firm that I can think of.
Oh, outstanding.
You kind of caught me off guard here, okay?
Certainly. Well, if you'd like to come out here, I'd like to give you a chance to catch your breath and have a conversation. We don't want to catch you off guard.
I love Inside Edition. You got to get this now. Hey, you listening to me? My wife thinks Inside Edition is, oh yeah. Now, thank you, Lord. Help me. Let me pray this thing.
Well, let me just ask you a really simple
Hallelujah.
question. A lot of people think
this guy literally. Have you ever seen him?
I don't have to, Matt. He's a man that walks with God.
But he's right out of Central Casting. Like if you were casting a movie, a comedy, and it had a megachurch pastor in it, like it would be him. It literally would be him.
Literally.
Like he could just play himself.
But he doesn't have a Screen Actors Guild.
Like he's so... Well, the Lord will provide one to him, I'm sure.
The Lord does not believe in unions, Matt.
Oh, that's true. The Lord is very anti-union.
God. And your near-death experience after you got shot outside of Cambridge, whatever it was.
Cambridge Analytica?
I think so.
Yes.
Didn't you get a peek inside the Lord's office? They had main headquarters.
That's true.
And you saw Donald John Trump up on the wall next to the American flag.
Yes.
Which interestingly only had 49 stars.
And I did have a conversation with the Lord
they
while
took
I was
up
there.
Puerto Rico.
Right. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
He said, the Lord told me he was going to be having a conversation with the Honorable Gary S. Hopper about his vote against right to work. You know, because the Lord is very anti-union, obviously.
And Gary must have been intoxicated that, toadstools or whatever.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they're growing in where?
Well, I certainly hope not. Well,
it's unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets. What's your response to that?
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do.
Yeah. Praise the Lord.
We have brought over 100, let's see. The latest figures just came out.
Figures.
122 million people to the Lord Jesus Christ.
122 million.
Let me give you another example.
By the way, I think that's a bad idea because heaven's going to get full. Like, some people think we have a population issue on Earth. If he's bringing 122 million people, I mean, there's going to be like all the paperwork St. Peter's going to have to do for that.
Really that dumb?
What do you mean?
Only 144,000 people are in the Trump room. All the rest, are like in the Motel 6.
I didn't consider that.
A few other places.
Oh,
a little higher up the chain.
Sure.
It depends on what you give, Matt.
Where do you think John McCain is?
Well, he's in the other
happy
place.
with where we are.
Oh, he's happy.
He's getting pitchforked right in the hiney right as we speak.
Oh, that's terrible. I hope that's not true.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he says no. We know where he is. He's in the wall.
The talking wall.
Yes.
May. I was scheduled.
I think I see him now.
For Lagos, Nigeria.
Ooh.
That's a long ways.
Long way.
I had a week off, and I was scheduled for Peru.
Ooh.
And I prayed about it, and I thought, I'm not
Paddington
missing
Bears
that
from.
dedication in Jerusalem. Without the airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere. And Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made.
I hope, by the way, that Tyler Perry dressed up as Medea for when they met, and he signed over that bill of sale.
Well, that would be blasphemous.
They could have
a sodomist or something.
Why?
It's not very Christian. Christ didn't dress up, cross-dress.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
But he had a very nice robe, which set him above the others,
Right, yes.
Forget that.
Yes.
They claim he's some type of communist, from Matthew or whatever.
Yeah, he wouldn't have tolerated Tyler Perry with all that cross-dressing. One of the big things I remember from, because I went from a Catholic school to grade 2 to grade 8, and one of the big things I remember is, Jesus always said, be really freaked out by people who are different than you.
Hallelujah.
Yes, and amen.
Particularly those that try to cheat you when they pass the collection plate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They don't like slugs in heaven.
No, indeed. Oh.
He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
You couldn't help it.
My question then, okay, all right, but I want to get to the demons because people are very concerned about that comment.
Give me a chance here, Inside Edition. I love your eyes. And here's what happened.
He's trying to pick her up. That's how he's going to.
It's Lord's will, Matt.
This guy, I mean, he's like a cartoon character. It's wild that like this person, like.
May your Yeti tongue be struck into the snakes.
Like, is he a performance artist? I mean, is
hear
this real?
Yourself say yes. It's like, yes.
Yes. That's right. Well,
Snakes.
I was a big fan of Jake the Snake Roberts growing up, one of my favorite wrestlers.
Was he Christian?
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I have a theory, though. Like, I believe that all these guys, like Kenneth Copeland and Jim Baker and all these guys who turn Christianity into a business, I'm convinced that they're actually atheists. Because if they really believed, there's no way they would have the balls to do any of this. Because they'd be terrified of going to hell.
Look at the harsh language.
Well, I'm just saying.
First, you're defending taking away the Lord's ability to strike people down dead through the facilities of the state. And now you're attacking God's own messengers to his flock. You are evil,
they have to be atheists.
Covington.
If they believed in Christianity even the tiniest bit, they'd be very worried about going to hell. Wouldn't they?
I don't see the Catholic Church exactly on Poverty Row.
Yeah.
Which you attacked your sales for many
careful.
Many years.
We're gonna get a call from Father Bruno if you keep that up.
Is he still in Rome?
He's always in Rome. He does
I thought he was in Ithaca, New York.
He does a show. Actually, some about getting right with Jesus, I think. Stephen
I didn't
Philbrook.
think Jesus was involved with the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I don't think he is. Stephen Philbrook says, LOL, I like your eyes. Yes.
I don't know. Take a look at Matt's eyes. It's like two daggers.
Can you imagine what Jesus would think of the Vatican? Like,
I'm not going there,
like,
man.
Hey, guy, I just imagine Jesus coming back and saying, look, dudes, this ain't what I had in mind.
Is he coming back?
If I were him, I would just stay home. I'd be like, nah, you know what? I'm good.
He could be here walking amongst us right now.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
After he created the Yeti, he had the rest for many days. Is there a difference between creating the Yeti or inventing the Sasquatch? Invent, create?
Yeah, that's.
Does it depend on the Bible that you read?
That's very mean. That's how dare you?
You hate being called a Sasquatch.
I do. It hurts.
Yeah, since they're bigger and handsomer and more, they're better groomed.
All right, let's get back to this. You're
smell better,
hurting
too.
my feelings. I do need to be trimmed and brushed. I mean, it's true.
And what do they call it?
And shampooed.
Defenestrated means they throw you out the window.
Yeah, no, wait, I don't need that.
Fumigated. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's not what we call it, but that's okay. Yeah.
Sheep dip.
We
Okay.
flew
Yeah.
in 21 days,
To Jerusalem?
70 hours, 40,000 miles, touched 5 continents, and preached face to face personally with 125,000 people.
I thought it was 122 million.
Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, getting back to the comment. You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
I'll
We
say they're
wrestle
demons.
not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that term then? Just explain, because it's really simple. You said you didn't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. What did you mean?
You meant commercial
let me
class
ask
people.
you.
By the way, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but in high school, some friends and I had a satanic death metal band called Tube of Demons.
But I thought that had something to do with your aversion to Preparation H.
No. How dare you?
I think that people that fly commercial are demons.
Give me a chance.
I do. What sane person doesn't?
But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It doesn't have anything
Jesus
to do
flew
with
first
people.
class.
Yes.
People.
So
I
the
love
Buddha.
people. Jesus loves people.
He loves them.
People get pushed in alcohol. Do you think that's a good place for a preacher to be and prepare to go preach to a lot of people?
They break
when
wind.
somebody in there is dragging some woman down an aisle. It made me so mad to see that on television. I wanted to punch the guy out myself. I can't be doing that while I'm getting ready to preach.
You just don't like to...
Hold on. So this is his explanation for why he can't fly on a plane with a bunch of other people, because he saw on TV some guy dragging a woman down the aisle or something, and it made him so mad. He can't be exposed to that kind of violence. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't flown in a while, but it is true. I mean, usually if you get on a commercial flight, there'll usually be some sort of brawl, or maybe a football or a rugby game breaks out or something.
Orgies.
There's usually some sort of terrible violence or what?
Orgies.
Although
yes. they aren't as prevalent as they were in the late 70s.
That's true, yeah, when the cocaine would be flowing and everything.
Right.
Or the cocaine, as Ryan Gorman calls it.
Now that you can't smoke on airplanes, it seems to have dampened the ardor of many demonic commercial travelers on aircraft.
Well, he probably doesn't realize that.
He can't smoke.
He's an older guy. He doesn't know that it's not as demonic as it used to be.
Right, but he does have his memories.
Yes.
They're very precious to him.
He's clearly terrified.
Of demons.
Of demons, yeah.
And
Well,
I agree. You name me one person that's flown in the plane in this millennium that won't back him up that commercial flights are full of demons.
oh, yeah, okay.
That's horrible.
Fair enough.
Horrible.
Stefan in the Facebook live chat says he is speaking in tongues. Ooh, that's my favorite Talking Heads album, by the way.
Well, that was, yeah. That was very 70s, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, it came out in the 70s. So,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of
To be around the
talking
sinful
now.
people or the hurtful people. Is that what you're
Hurtful.
saying?
Not the people, lady. Not the people.
What the people, lady?
Back during the days that we couldn't
DAZE.
do anything else, we had to travel commercial. When I went to Oral Roberts University, I flew for Oral Roberts. I'm a commercial pilot.
Oh,
So I spent a lot of time in airplanes.
You have how many planes?
We have the Gulfstream, and we still have our Citation 10. And then we have a little small airplane. But both those are the two ones that we use, and we use them all the time. And other people use them too. We have other ministries that use these. In the book of Ephesians,
Ephesians.
Oh, God, I love this. We wrestle not with people,
We wrestle not.
but with principalities and powers, unseen things, rulers of the darkness of this world. Talking about the devil, he's a very real devil, just the same as Jesus is a very real Lord.
That's why you don't like this guy. He's against professional wrestling.
And I spent a lot of time on airlines.
Or is he for it?
But the main thing that happened was that wasn't the main reason. The main reason was I could no longer do what I called to do
Couldn't smoke, couldn't have sex.
and be on the airlines. Besides that, I need my clothes when I get there.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And you have some fancy clothes. I mean,
By the way, so he needs his clothes when he gets there. What is it that people put in their luggage when they fly commercial?
I don't know. Probably he has holy water in his take-on baggage, Matt. Did you ever think of that? Or some holy texts?
Looks like
Ephesians. Did he say that? Ephesians. Help me here.
Is it
Effluviant? I need to see. I'm not that familiar with his Bible.
I'm not much of a theologian myself. I know that's shocking, but
I think you're an atheist.
no, I'm close. I'm pretty close.
Oh, I thought the Sasquatch God was named Athie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The idea that, at the end of life, you just die, that does suck.
Is that the old Thorn? So maybe the Yeti God. Or is it Sasquatch?
Oh, my goodness.
Can we get with Sasquatch Bible for up at the VA? Put it on the table up there?
No.
for a pastor, you are living a life of luxury. You've got great homes. You've got great planes.
Got a great wife.
You drive in limos.
I'm a
and
very wealthy man.
You're a very wealthy man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And some people would say that is it appreciated?
May I add something to that? My wealth doesn't come from offerings alone.
Ooh.
Because you sell things, books
Burnt
and
offerings.
DVDs.
Yes. And I have a lot of natural gas on our property.
Yeah.
Didn't know that, did you, babe?
Now I do.
Yeah, you
He's
do.
flatulent.
Wait, hold on.
He's flatulent.
Did he just call her baby?
Baby.
So I got to back that up. So he starts talking about, Fred says it's Ephesians. And
I thought it was effluvia.
Fred sent me a song to play too.
But effluvia?
I don't think so. But yeah, so that's so funny though. So he starts talking about all the money and all the stuff that he has. And then he's like, yeah, you didn't know that, did you, baby?
I bet he's
trying to pick her up.
His stewardesses are in go-go boots and little mini dresses, just like the good old days.
I bet you they are.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you they are. I had to back
He can
that
have
up a little bit.
He has no fear of the Mile High Club on his own plane.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Do you drive in limos?
I'm a
and
very wealthy man.
You're a very wealthy man.
Yes.
Yeah. And some people would say that is it appreciated?
May I add something to that? My wealth doesn't come from offerings alone.
Ooh.
Because you sell things, books and DVDs.
Yes. and I have a lot of natural gas on our property.
Ooh.
Didn't know that, did you, babe?
Now I do.
He did.
Yeah,
He called her baby.
Isn't that wonderful?
Ain't that wonderful?
It's wonderful for you.
Back when,
He's got some game.
and I might add another thing too. We invest from, let's see, I don't know the exact number on last year.
He's tiresome.
But it will run something in the neighborhood of 20, 25 million in the poor.
Oh.
Can't do that and be broke.
So final question is, a lot of people maybe have a misunderstanding then about what you do in prosperity preaching. So the final question is this. To those critics that say that a preacher should not be living a life of luxury, what is your response to that?
Up yours.
They're wrong.
That's it?
That it's a misunderstanding of the Bible.
Oh, this ought to be good.
That
Biblia.
if you go into the Old Covenant,
The old
do
covenant.
you think the Jewish people believe you should be broke?
Oh, no. Oh,
You're saying that
no.
Jewish people...
You're not
no.
going to touch that one with a...
Oh, jeez. He's really going for that. Oh my God. I didn't, pun fully intended. See, I didn't.
You didn't hear this part?
No, I didn't have a chance to watch the whole thing. I can't believe. Oh no. I got to back it up a little bit. Oh man.
So final question is,
Wow.
a lot of people maybe have a misunderstanding then about what you do in prosperity preaching. So the final question is this. To those critics that say that a preacher should not be living a life of luxury,
Living La Vida
what
Loca.
is your response to that?
They're wrong.
That's it?
That it's a misunderstanding of the Bible. That if you go into the Old Covenant,
The old covenant.
do you think the Jewish people believe you should be broke?
Are you saying that Jewish people
Oh no.
appreciate money more than...
They believe in wealth.
Some people would find that offensive.
Now, wait a minute now. I'm not talking about some people. I'm talking about the Bible. The blessing of Abraham. Abraham was extremely wealthy.
I thought that had to
And
do
he
with the
had a
foreskin.
covenant with God. It's not the Jewish blessing, it's the Abrahamic blessing. God, I get excited talking about it because I love it. And I started out deep in debt with nothing, which is another story. But anyway,
So you say that it's biblical and that there's a foundation in the Bible for
let me
this.
close it with this. I had to learn this, like I said, from the Bible and from my spiritual mentor, Oral Roberts. And I learned it from him, working with him, and then he was close friends until he died. And he took the same heat for believing God would prosper you that I've taken over the years.
Prosperity?
And Abraham was a very, very wealthy man. Galatians chapter 3. If you belong to Christ, then are you Abraham's seed and heirs according to his promise. And his promise was great wealth.
The Bible also says...
Yeah, so that's his explanation for the prosperity gospel.
But he goes
stuff.
back to the covenant with Abraham, and then he's like fast forwarding to Jesus, which is thousands of years later, right?
Yes. Well,
I don't know. All I know from about the Bible, I saw in movies like the Ten Commandments.
Hello to Rhonda in the Facebook live chat. Fred says this is getting better. Jenny says, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do not use my faith to justify your left."
Greed. Greed.
Yes. Oh, hello to, we're joined in the studio by the Dions. Let me put those mics on for you. I don't know if you guys are familiar with megachurch pastor Kenneth Copeland.
And prosperity gospel.
Yes, we're getting a little bit of a tutorial here. Actually, the clip is almost over, but He's he's got these private jets and stuff. And, well, obviously the Lord wants him to have these things. But
so does Abraham.
Yeah, apparently, yes. Wow.
That it's more difficult for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to get through the eye of a needle, correct?
The rest of the scripture. But he said, all things are possible with God.
That's a great... So you could justify anything with that, couldn't you? Right?
Well, that's quote is to the would-be disciple that was the rich guy, right? And he said, give away everything that you own. And the guy didn't want to do it.
Oh, yeah.
If I can remember.
No. You get away with anything. All things are possible with God. Right?
You were able to bring give a new home to the ghost of John McCain.
That's true, yes. Well, yeah, he is. I don't know if you guys felt the chill when you walked into the room, but because, the president is once again upset with him.
They named a ship after him.
I had to summon the ghost because, he's...
That would be crazy.
Yes, I know. Because obviously he has a lot to say in response to the president. So,
I bet, yeah. I get a chill because John Hopwood's here. I always get a chill when I see John Hopwood.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm doing well today.
That's good.
Yes.
What's your hat say?
It's the USS Manchester, the ship that was commissioned for the city of Manchester.
That's a great...
last year,
Yeah, sure.
So Fred says, Matthew 19:24. Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. Let's. I want to get through this.
And he said, if you study the Greek behind that,
I didn't know God spoke.
It's trusting in wealth. When he said that, his disciples said they were astonished out of measure because they were wealthy men. They were astonished out of measure, saying, how can anyone be saved? He said, all things are possible.
I didn't know the
both
disciples
of my
were
grandfathers were preachers. They were both very poor. They lived simple, modest lives. They were extremely offended by men that made money like you do, preaching like you do. What would your response be to people that think that preachers shouldn't live this kind of a lifestyle? Folks like both my grandfathers.
And I understand that. And I love them with all my heart. It's your grandfathers that we're standing on their shoulders. They held up and they stood for it. Glory to God.
Like Atlas.
Yes.
But when you go back to the Bible, it's full of wealth. And it's full of miracles and signs and wonders. And it's full of goodness.
Wait a minute, I've got it now. That's why all the evangelicals love Trump. Because
he has a big jet?
Well, that, and plus Art of the Deal is just like the Bible.
I didn't know.
If you follow this guy's description of the Bible.
Are you saying Jesus had an executive jet?
Well, I mean, I think we can safely assume that, but,
Some people say, what was it, In Search of Ancient Astronauts, which the narrator was none other than Leonard Nimoy,
Yes.
Captain Kirk's faithful friend from Vulcan.
Mr. Spock,
Not
yes.
a Christian, by the way.
No,
and,
no, he wasn't.
That perhaps Jesus himself was an ancient astronaut.
Oh, my goodness.
He didn't per se have a jet, but he had some type of spacecraft.
Right, yes. Well.
And it's full of meanness. It's just full of hell on earth. Those are the demons, not the people.
Oh, commercial air travel.
Again, getting back to Sir, thank you so much for your time
What's your
today.
name?
Lisa Guerrero.
Lisa, God bless. Father bless Lisa. Thank you for her grandparents. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to know her, to her team. And I pray and I believe her piece will be successful. I love Inside Edition. I love the people on it. And it thrills me to get a chance to have my face on Inside Edition.
Thank you very much, Reverend.
Girl.
You have a nice day.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for your patience.
He even kisses her hand. Now, you guys didn't hear this part unless you were listening on the way here, but like the whole time he's like hitting on her too. Like he starts talking about how much money he has, and he's like, "Yeah, you didn't know that, did you, baby?" And it's like, oh my God.
And this guy's the legit preacher?
Well, none of these.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I used the word legitimate. I'm sorry.
You don't have to go. This is, they call it low church, white light Protestantism. It's not like becoming a priest in the Catholic Church or the Episcopal Church.
Okay.
There's nothing you really have to go through. You just have to see the white light.
Well, I was saying to John earlier, my theory about all these megachurch pastors like him and Jim Baker and Olstein and all that, I believe they're actually atheists. Because if they truly believed in Christianity, they would be terrified to do what they do.
Exactly.
Because they'd be afraid of the judge. They'd be afraid of going to hell when they die.
It goes counter to what they should be believing in, as opposed to what they actually believe in.
Right, exactly. So I don't believe they really believe at all. To them, it's just a business. It's
all about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Exactly.
Look at this guy Osteen. Holy mackerel.
Oh, yeah.
Can either one of you quote, from the book of, what was it, Effluvia? Effluvia.
Euthanasia or something?
When you can do that, you can pass judgment.
All right. I'm not ready for that yet.
we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's ECG.
Hello,
guys.
guys.
Funny story for you there, young Ben Dion. I was over at Creamland this week, and I was asking one of the employees, I said, hey, what school did you go to? He said, hey, I went to Memorial. I said, hey, did you have Ben Dion as a teacher? He said, I did.
Who was this?
I said, was he a good teacher? I always go there, And he said, yeah, he was. He said, learned a lot of good information from that. So,
and wound up at Creamland.
He had a swell time in your class. It was about 5 years ago. I guess you were probably still just learning the ropes at Memorial.
Who was what was the employee's name?
I don't know the lady's name, but she had a small time in your class.
EZG is not much of an investigative
reporter. She had such a good time.
No, he's not.
No.
She didn't learn enough skills to stay out of Creamland.
Anyway, so keep up the good work there, young Dion, and we'll see you down the road.
Hello, guys.
Thanks,
Aaron. Ben, you're in big trouble when she starts calling you old Dion.
By the way, I don't know if you guys know, but my understanding, well, you know Daryl because you're often there when he speaks about it. My understanding is EZG, from what I heard him saying on the morning show, he's trying to arrange like a big joint live remote between this show and the morning show at Goldenrod.
I thought it was Creamland.
Wow. No, it's Creamland. Why would we do a live remote there? Ew.
A good plan.
No, we're going to do it at Golden. No, Creamland. What are you, nuts? Oh, that sounds awful. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Drill pal Fred.
Fred Bonig from the Daily Ripple. How are you, sir? I got those songs you sent me. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. But anyway, what the preacher was mistaken, and I posted it in the Facebook Live, is he's talking to a guy who came up and said, look, how do I get to heaven? And he's like, I do all the right things, and he said, well, sell all your stuff and
give it all away
and give it to the poor. That's what he was talking to this guy about.
Yeah.
And the guy couldn't do it. And it's very clear because he says, because you're going to get you're going to get stuff in heaven. So it says, Jesus said unto him, if thou wilt not, if will be perfect, go and sell that thou hast and give it to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. That's what he says.
Yeah.
So it's very clear what he was the point he was trying to make is that your possessions aren't important,
Yeah.
if you want to be perfect. So this guy using the term of all things are possible, he skips the verse in between it, and then he gets to that, which he takes it out of context.
Yes.
Just,
well, it's wordy, Yeah, it's like Shakespeare. There's a lot of extra stuff in there.
Right, he's paraphrasing. Down. Yes.
Pare it right down.
Yeah, but I don't think any of these guys actually are Christians to begin with, right? I mean, do you agree with my theory? They're really atheists.
Well, I used to. I mean, I was trained to be a Baptist missionary, and I started a mission church in 1995, and I started in gospel radio in '96. That's how I started in radio.
I remember you saying that.
How much money did you make?
So now I have different beliefs.
Yes.
But so my
I need a new career.
Point is that a lot of this money thing is I perceive Jesus much more as a brown-skinned socialist of his time because he worked for free. I mean, he took in gifts in the sense that they fed him and things like that, but he wasn't out making money off of his miracles.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean? He said, pay your taxes. He told them, because they wanted to trick him, and they said, no, here's this coin. It's got Caesar on it. He says, well, whose picture's on it? Well, if it's Caesar's, then render unto Caesar what's Caesar's, and render unto God what is his. So this whole making money off of God is got to be this. There's a special place for people like that.
Yeah, it's called hell.
And as Ray Stevens says, and I'll leave you with this.
Yes.
Would Jesus wear a Rolex on late night TV?
He might.
All right, I'll let you go, boss.
All right, Fred. Thank you so much. Take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
He's attacking people that wear Rolexes on late night TV. I used to wear a Rolex on our 2 shows.
Oh,
and then I gave it away.
Oh, you did. That's good.
Well, that was doing the Christian thing.
Yeah.
Actually, my brother wanted it back.
Oh.
He gave it to me years ago.
He wanted it back?
Yeah, well, it was a gift from my father to him. Okay. Then he gave it to me, and he wanted it for his son. And who really needs a Rolex?
Right.
It was the only watch I had anymore. But I gave it back.
You're listening to the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed on WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester. Next on the show, it's a return of our good friend, Easy G, Eric Gagnon. He's usually on the morning show, 1 or 2 days a week doing the entertainment report, but he does like to pop in on my program from time to time. And here he is discussing with us the saga of his Uncle Al's sweater. It's a very, very sad tale. Here it is. Of course, over there on the couch is a gentleman you might be familiar with if you're a regular listener of the station. He does the morning show, Mr. Peter White. How are you, sir?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's wonderful to see you here. There's probably people who think that you only exist in the morning.
Well, maybe, because once in a great while, I will come on the show in the afternoon with you.
Yes. And, of course, over at the news desk, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the effervescent Easy G.
Only here for a little while.
Easy G.
Easy G.
Yeah.
We also have, of course, our regular cast members, as our family here has been growing. Joining us here in the studio, as always, is the ghost of John McCain.
John McCain.
Yes, we have virtual Dave Ridley.
I'm here.
And, of course, our newest addition to the cast, virtual John Hopwood is here as well.
What a jackass.
And so we have a full house here today. So.
All right, very good.
Yes.
Very good. Now, what are you doing this now for?
Yes, Easy G.
While we get it, you're like really.
My lips are dry.
Yeah, get right up on that mic, Easy G. What do you?
My lips are dry.
What? Oh, I thought maybe that was herpesing. Maybe you had some mouth herpes going on.
Hey, I got a quick question for you, Peter.
I definitely, I have herpes.
I was talking up that you were going to show up today, but you didn't.
Well, I didn't say. I didn't commit to it.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't commit. I actually went to Pappy's.
Oh, that's fine.
I was over at Pappy's Pizza. How does that make you feel?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I need business too. So, anyways, I was talking you up to my boss Nicole. She goes, "Hey, she says Mel half met you the other day. Met you, Peter White. This guy named Dave. He was the cobbler for the Seeds of Hope."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I met him. He met me the other day.
Yeah.
He was shining shoes for everybody.
Yeah, that's his job.
Right.
So shout out to Dave from Ridden's Shoes Repair on Kelly Street.
Well, doesn't a cobbler do shoe repair?
Well, he was asked to help out for the Seeds of Hope.
Because there's a difference between doing shoe repair and shining shoes.
Well, that's what he was. I think he was there though to specifically shine the shoes.
Oh,
he was friends with Christy Cantor. Who isn't friends with Christy?
Well, here's
Cantor?
the thing.
I'm not. I've never met her. How dare you?
The entire community came together for that Seeds of Hope fashion show. That's what it was, and that's how it works. I'll fix that.
Okay.
Because I did that because Abby was over here today.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Wow, very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason, and you saw it firsthand because Eric went. We all you sat with the whole crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Eric, I'm going to tell you, and I'm not even giving you a hard time. You look like such a nice.
Well, Mike told me to dress up. So
you were dressed up. You were you looked very good on Friday night.
And then I left my Uncle Al's sweater there. Oh.
Yeah, no.
He lost Uncle Al's sweater.
Oh,
It's
no,
gone. It's
really?
gone. They haven't called me in 2 days, so it's gone.
Really? I'll go back and check.
Well, who is Uncle Al's? Is this an uncle that passed away?
Yeah,
Do you want me to tell you?
Sweater like 20 years ago.
Do you want me to tell you the story? Because I know this is something that I know a lot
I know,
about.
it's awful.
Well, is this going to make us all cry? I mean, it sounds very sad. I mean, losing Uncle Al's sweater. I
Here
mean,
it is.
we're all going to be weeping openly.
Here it is.
Yes.
The Uncle Al's sweater, when Eric was married, okay, this was his wife's Uncle Al's.
Oh.
And Uncle Al is no longer with us.
Right.
And Eric ended up with the sweater.
Okay.
This is over 20 years ago.
Oh, about 20 years ago now, yeah. I've been
Right.
Oh, I
15
see.
years.
Yes.
It's never been washed. It still smells like Uncle Al.
No, I put it through the wash. It was my favorite sweater, though.
So we're on the lookout.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's going to the Brooklyn Mike sweater.
Right.
Yeah, but I really need sweater now. It's 70 degrees, so hopefully sweater
Right.
days are over for a long time. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Little Weezer for you there.
Do you like Weezer?
I can't say I do.
Really?
I
Why
really
not?
like that smooth jazz.
We do love the smooth jazz. This is Undone, the sweater song, Eric. Did you ever listen to this while sitting around wearing Uncle Al's sweater, thinking about your ex-wife?
No, I really don't think about
Let me.
that.
I'll tell you. Anybody out there that has I would say a maroon. Would you say it? Or is it magenta?
I think it's maroon.
Okay,
yeah.
so a maroon cardigan sweater, long sleeve, so we could replace Eric's long lost Uncle Al's sweater. It's never going to be Uncle Al's sweater,
right?
But you know what? It can. You can have new memories with your new sweater.
Yeah, it'll never be the same.
We'll call it the WMNH Easy G sweater.
But is there a way to replicate the smell somehow of Uncle Al?
No, probably
Because
not.
if you can't replicate the smell, then what's even the point?
Right. Just go leave it at the senior center for a couple days.
Yeah,
It'll be
there you
fine.
Oh, that's a good idea. Or better yet, do you know where Uncle Al is buried?
I think he's buried somewhere in Concord.
I got a shovel in the Jeep. Let's go after the show. We'll get this done.
Oh my God! Do you want to dig up Uncle Al?
We're going to dig him up. We're going to dig him up.
Doing that.
We're going to get the sweater, the new sweater. We'll dig him up, and we'll rub the sweater on his skeleton.
What do you think he looks like now?
I bet he's lost some weight.
Not much to him, I guess.
Right, not
He
much
died
to
a
him.
while back.
Yes, he's probably decomposed.
So let's talk about a live fella. I just saw John Clayton over at Market Basket.
John Clayton is in fact alive, from what I understand.
Yeah, I
yes.
just saw him at the basket.
Oh wow, the basket.
Yep.
That's what the cool kids call it.
Right. So John Clayton's out there shopping right now.
No, he's all done.
Oh, he was in
It was
line?
like a half an hour ago. I said hi.
Now, what did John have in his cart?
He bought some food, and I saw him come back.
I know, but did you look at what he was eating?
You can tell a lot.
But
Was
he came back because he said he forgot his contact. He was buying some contact.
Well, let me ask you this: did he have any? Was there beer in his basket?
I don't remember. He didn't have a basket. He just had a couple items, and then I saw him go to his car. He said, "Oh crap, I forgot something." Then
His
he
wife,
turned
his
around.
wife probably sent him on his way home from work too. You know, because he's right. Hey, you're right there. The Millyard Museum is right there.
Yeah.
Can you stop by the basket and pick up whatever we're
And
having
then he
for
came
dinner
back because
tonight?
he forgot his box of contacts that he buys at the basket, I guess.
That's why I've never been married.
Right, because of that.
I don't want to have to be sent to the basket. You know what I mean?
So anyway, I said I'm taking the bus back, and
Is this a big story you said you were going to tell on the air?
Yes. Yeah, so
Oh, this better be good.
Oh, it's a good one. I'm taking the bus back from the basket, a free one.
Yes.
And his character, this funny guy that drives the bus, I can't remember his name. I call him Mr. Bus Driver.
Mr. Bus Driver.
He says, "Look over there."
That's dehumanizing.
And why did I do it at Veterans Park? This guy dropped his pants.
What? I'm confused.
He says, "Look over there," and I was stupid enough to look over there. Some guy, or it was a girl, I don't remember who it was, but I saw the person's rump at Veterans Park, and the bus driver says, "Welcome to Manchester."
Right.
So why'd I look? I don't know. But if someone tells you to look, you just look, I guess.
And then did you go back to the basket and get a rump roast?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. Somebody actually dropped their pants in public.
Is that your entire story, Eric?
That was the story I was saving for the radio.
Not to be picky, but it's a little more of an anecdote, to be honest with you. But we'll give you an air horn anyway. I know how much you enjoy the air horn.
I didn't need to see that. So why'd I look? I don't know.
Right. Well, you looked because someone said, look. I mean,
the bus driver did.
Right.
He's an antagonizing.
You trusted the bus driver. I think the moral of the story is never trust a bus driver, clearly. Hello to Jenny, who joins us in the Facebook live chat, as well as Kevin Morrissey. Heidi Hamer. Heidi says, well, is it morning or afternoon? Peter and Eric and Matt with 2 question marks. And she said, I'm glad I'm not the only one dazed and confused. Hello to Christian Cunard in the Facebook live chat. And Rhonda Ostrowitz-Vivero, who says beef jerky.
Is that your friend Rhonda Ease?
No, it's another Rhonda. She doesn't listen to the station.
Peter White was fixing the cameras if you're watching online. That's what all that was about.
Yes.
I saw they talked about it enough, but she don't seem to be interested. So.
Talked about what enough? What are you talking about, Eric?
About her incident with the Taste of Downtown. Where are my tickets?
I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have another story for us? Another anecdote?
No, it's an old story about me and when I called up the show and Peter White's
I love old stories.
Peter White's grandmother had just died the day before, apparently, and she was 100 years old, and I called up.
Thanks for bringing it up, Ease.
I'm sorry about that, but rest in peace. I called up begging for tickets for Rhonda for the Taste of Downtown, and I certainly have talked about it enough over the years, so. But she don't seem too interested about it. She just kind of chuckles, haha.
Who didn't seem too interested?
About listening to the radio.
Who, Rhonda?
Right.
Your friend Rhonda, not the Rhonda.
Not Rhonda.
Right. Some people just not into the radio, I guess, though. Either you are or you're not.
How can you not be into the radio?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like my boss Nicole's the other half. Jack is into the radio. I mean, sorry, Dave.
Oh, Dave.
I hate being
But she's not, though.
Right.
Right.
Dave loves radio.
Right, so maybe I get him to come on the radio instead of her.
Well, it's all right. We're getting crowded over here.
Mike Gonzalez in the Facebook live chat says, is Eric lying again?
Yeah,
Are you
right.
lying, Eric? Are you a big liar?
No, there was just that white lie.
No,
earlier.
he lied. No, he lied recently and
About
said,
the parade. That was just a white lie.
No, he said, "Oh no, I was home all day fixing my stuff," and then
Oh yes,
and I think it was Bill Burke in our Facebook live said I saw Easy over by
the Red Barn,
breakfast place. He was having breakfast with somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of true, I guess. That was just a white lie.
I know, but you shouldn't, just say, "Hey, I had other things to do. I went to breakfast."
But does it surprise you? I mean, he won't even greet you in public if he sees you.
No, he's gotten much better.
Oh, has he? Oh, good.
I haven't seen you in public. Oh, yeah, I did see you in public the other day.
It's hard for me to go out.
I saw you at the taco tour. I yelled across the street with my big mouth.
Well, see, I have to, me walking down the street, I have to keep a low profile.
That's true.
Otherwise, people crowd me.
Yes.
Yeah, but you were keeping a low profile when you were in the limo.
Right. I was keeping a low profile.
During the taco tour, yes. Oh, hello to Chris Rose, who joins us online.
Chris Rose, one of the good ones.
What do you mean by that?
I think Chris is great.
Oh, okay.
He's a good friend of mine.
I thought you meant something else.
No.
One of the good ones, as in one of the good friends, like compared to Easy G. He's like,
I got another funny story. Remember that time
boy,
me and Gorman had that fake fight on the radio?
The fake fight? I think that was pretty real. I think Mr.
He
Gorman...
said he'd give me a hug next time he sees me.
I think,
I finally got a Ryan Gorman hug on Monday.
Gorman gets so mad at you.
Is that Ryan Gorman?
I got a hug on Monday.
Yeah, actually, what kind of hug was it? Was it like a bro hug?
It was more or less like a TV hug.
Because whenever I see Gorman, he gives me a warm embrace and he kind of rubs my back a little bit. And he'll
usually, one of those. It was like a TV hug.
He'll usually whisper something into my ear like, it's great to see you or something like that.
Starts up on the top of the back and goes down towards your waist.
The only problem is he was smoking cigarettes. And it was kind of a cigarette hug.
So there was no waste.
It was a real smelly, smoky
it was kind of a
cigarette
gross hug.
No. Oh, wow.
But then Paulie Cormier got jealous. He said, I want a Ryan Gorman hug. And he told Peter to make it happen.
Right.
Well, Paulie C and Ryan have a history together.
But apparently they've never actually met? Is that true? Is that what Paul was telling me? Paul was telling me they've never actually met in person after all this time.
Oh, I think they've seen each other.
Really? I might have misunderstood.
Maybe.
Because I was very surprised when Paul said that to me.
The last TV show we had, they were both there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe they didn't talk to each other, but...
No, you're right, though.
Because you remember the old battles back in the old days?
Vividly. That was great stuff. Oh, that was great stuff.
The old battles?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All these guys on the radio now, like Matt here, and we were all doing public access television. We all had television shows, but... Matt arranged to have us all go down. We all did shows together. So Paul did this thing called Retro Spectrum Radio, and we had Mansterdam. And all of a sudden, we were very friendly at first because we're all excited that we are all interested in the same type of thing, and we like radio.
All right.
We like to talk. And then things took a turn for the worst, and I believe it started with Paul and Ryan.
There was an unreturned phone call, I believe.
And then it all
I can't
started.
believe Ryan would cause any problems.
I know, it's shocking. It really, it truly is.
Yeah, I know.
He's such a docile creature.
Right. Actually, I'm surprised, too, because Paul is the easiest guy to get along with. You know that.
Yes, another docile creature.
Right,
yes,
right.
yes.
Except one time he stepped on Lenny's toes one time, and Lenny got a little angry.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, during the show one time, Lenny said, "Hey, can I speak, Paul?"
Oh, that's right.
I do remember
one
that.
time that Lenny spoke up.
That's on there somewhere. That's
oh, wow.
Yeah, not often Lenny spoke often.
It's actually quick, too. I could probably find it. It's in...
Let me see if...
It's in PW4, I think.
PW4.
Lenny didn't
Under
often speak
Radio
up,
Ready.
but that time he did.
Morning show 4?
No, not on the side one. I'm talking about in the.
I think I see what you mean.
Right, you go into Radio Ready, and then you'll see PW like 4, and it'll say Lenny. It'll say Lenny on it.
Oh, wait, Radio Ready.
But you're right.
Oh.
I remember that day now. But see, that was funny.
Yeah, it was.
It was funny, not because it was just like Paul was laughing so hard, and Lenny wanted to get something out. And
here we go. I think I found it.
Well, let's take a listen to see what happened.
Yes.
Can I give you my answer, Peter?
You can give your answer right now.
Here we go. Richard Dawson.
Well, no.
Host of Family Feud.
That's wrong.
Hey, Paul, just a minute. Hold the phone.
Hold the phone.
Did
you, Paulie?
Hold the phone.
Hold the phone.
Hold the phone.
Okay.
Host of Family Feud, Richard Dawson.
That's right.
1976 to 1985. Ray Combs. You need another cup of coffee, Paul? Hey, Paul, I'm trying to knock it off, Paul. Paul, knock it off. Paul, can't you give someone time to speak? Paul, knock it off for a minute, will you? Ray Combs, 1988 to 1990. I'm trying to talk. Please, hold on.
I love you, Len.
I love America, dude.
That's the best part of the thing. I love America, dude.
Yeah, he was not too happy with Paulie say the place to be right there at that moment.
No, but it was such great radio. That's what we're saying.
It was.
I just want to hear that part again.
I love you, Len.
I love America, dude.
I think that's nice. I think we should all love America.
I love America.
Yeah, but he did kind of. It seemed to me that he was implying that Paul Cormier does not love America.
I think he was just wanted to get what he said out because we had asked him a question and Len had looked it up.
Yeah,
and it obviously was about Richard Dawson,
right?
Because we were playing Family Feud back then.
Yeah,
no longer with us, that guy.
Well,
that's where we were getting ready. We were practicing for our big event, Clayton versus Clayton.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Richard Dawson. Can you imagine how much trouble he'd be in today in the Me Too era?
Oh my God!
Oh, geez.
I mean, he was practically making out with the female contestants on Family Feud.
Well,
right.
guys, when I'm researching match game questions for the show,
yes,
I see clips of the match game, and obviously Richard Dawson, was on that show for many years in the 70s, early 70s, mid 70s, right before Family Feud became a big hit. And he was always like, shirt was unbuttoned. He was a swinger.
Oh yeah,
a Hollywood swinger.
He was a womanizer. That's
Mike Gonzalez.
Well, you got to get in the microphone.
Yeah, you are.
We can't hear you.
Here. He was a womanizer. Yeah, definitely.
How do you know he was a womanizer? Maybe he just.
He was just a little in the
He didn't make out with people. He just gave him a little peck on the lips.
Well, I think that Britney Spears song is about him.
Really?
I think so. Yeah,
Which
it's
one?
about Richard Dawson, womanizer.
Oh yeah.
Mike Gonzalez says that you told the rump story about Murphy's on St. Patrick's Day.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
There was some drunk ladies, slapping each other's rump that day. Oh, my God.
Okay, so there's different versions of the rump story.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a completely different story then. Because
there was a show on, a play called Grease at the Palace Theater.
Grease is the word that you heard. It's got groove, it's got meaning.
They talk about slapping each other's rump on that show, too.
In the movie Grease, they talk about slapping each other's rump? Or the play?
The girl said, you can slap my rump anytime.
So
is that Grease 1 or Grease 2?
1.
Because I like Grease 2 much better than Grease 1.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm a big fan of that. Grease 2, Electric Boogaloo, I think is the full title.
Well, no, but that's I see what you're doing.
Grease
there.
2, right. Grease 2 is not as good as Grease 1.
No, it definitely
Never
is. No, this one was.
In my opinion.
I know, in my opinion. How could you not like it?
I didn't.
Who's that guy? He came out of the darkness in the middle of the night.
I haven't seen Grease 2 since I was a kid.
You watched Grease 2.
But I've seen Grease 2, yeah.
It's great. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Maxwell Caulfield.
Yes.
It's Michael.
But what I'm curious about is this, I think Mike Gonzalez has made an accusation. I think he's accusing you of recycling a story, EZG.
Oh.
How do you want to address
that? What
that?
do you mean recycling a story?
Well, because he says you told the Rump story in a different context on a different day.
Oh, well, maybe sometimes I do that, yeah. Why, something wrong with that?
Well, it isn't exactly honest to do that.
Well, what do you mean?
To recycle a story and make it different?
Recycle a story about what?
About the Rump.
You're talking about Grease?
No! Mike Gonzalez is saying, is talking about you used the Rump story before in a different scenario. I think is what he's suggesting.
I don't remember.
Mike, feel free to call in 603-250-6007.
Refresh my memory.
We can get to the bottom of this. Danny Nickerson joins us in the Facebook live chat. Angela Philbrook says Grease 1 is better. Sorry. Well, I think most people would say that. Peter White had to leave the room. He appears to have gotten an urgent phone call. Do you know anything about what that might be about, EZG?
It could be his significant other, maybe Stephanie.
Oh, my goodness, yes. I hope everything is all right.
I did meet her the other day. Very nice lady.
Oh, yes.
Have you met her?
I have not met her, but I'm sure she is lovely to have clinched the affections of our very own Peter White of the morning show.
I've never met her before, so I can't say that no more.
Oh, right. You can't say what no more?
That I've never met her.
Oh, that's true, yes.
It's always fun to meet new people.
Right.
Apparently, I had met Peter White's mom before, but she says, I've seen you before.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to agree with her, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah,
I know Abigail
Come save my face.
Oh.
Abigail always speaks highly of her grandmother. And that she should.
Well, of course. Yes, of course. So how are you feeling, EZG? Is everything all right, Peter White of the morning show? I hope.
Yes.
All right. Very good.
I'm a very busy guy, man.
You are.
It was funny when I saw your mother the other day at the Seeds of Hope.
Yeah.
She says, I've seen you before. I don't remember.
Right. She sees you on TV every day, every morning.
Yeah, but I don't know if I've ever seen her live, though.
Right. Really? Oh, maybe you have.
If I did, she says I did, so I didn't want to argue with her. So I said, okay.
What, you wanted to start an argument with my mother?
I didn't, though.
You have a beef?
I disagree.
You have a beef with my mom?
No, I don't have a
beef.
beef.
No, this is something that's upsetting me.
Y'all got beef.
I don't have a beef with her. I disagree with her because I said I don't want to argue with her.
Y'all is beefing.
So what did you think of my mom?
Very nice.
Right.
It was funny. You know what I told her? I said, I know your son's going up there. I hope you don't embarrass the family.
Right.
You know what she said? She
Yeah.
laughed. She says, nothing could ever embarrass me.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
She's been with me for 48 years.
I guess you see the good, the bad, the ugly.
Oh, she has.
Same with my mother, right?
Right.
So you've already squashed the beef? You're not beefing with Peter White's mother?
This is just our regular relationship.
Oh, okay.
We're the best of friends.
I thought y'all was beefing.
Oh, no. We're not beefing.
We can make up a story if you want.
Right.
Oh yeah. M. Sizzle will have to get involved.
How's the king of all farts?
Ooh.
I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to see him tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll see a lot of them. I'm going to see him on Wednesday. I'm going to see him on Friday. We'll see the Avengers. And then my mother wants us to cook some food on Sunday for
I thought you were going to T-Bones.
They put that on the back burner. My mother wants the home-cooked meal instead.
A home-cooked meal on Gagnon Mountain.
That's right. So she gets what she wants. She's the mother. It's Mother's Day. So.
That's right.
I don't want to argue with her.
Are you a mother lover?
I do want to go to T-Bones. But
are you a mother lover?
That's a little personal.
I believe so.
Okay.
Good. I know my butter is bread.
I'm the biggest mother lover you'll ever see.
I know my bread is buttered.
Wait a second. Angela Philbrook in the Facebook live chat says, I finally met EZG. Is Angela Philbrook your mother?
Yes. Yes, she is.
I met her at the taco tour for 1 minute, and I sat with her.
Let me say something about Angela, and
yes.
I want to thank Nick Willard for he had a contest that Friday morning. We were highlighting the Seeds of Hope before the event, and he said if anyone comes to the door and mentions the morning show, I will buy you a ticket in. And then Angela was there.
Oh,
I got Nick. Boom, she's in.
Oh,
so she had a great night.
Very
nice. I hope you had a
nice.
great night, Angela. It was great to see you there. Thank you.
I think Lisa took advantage of that, and then she got thrown out.
Right. I didn't see any of that. She got escorted out.
That was not good.
Ooh, careful. She doesn't always appreciate when you talk about her on the radio.
I don't think she knows that I'm on that 4 o'clock show sometimes.
No, I know, but I think people know your voice by now.
Yes.
Well, she was being a little obnoxious, unfortunately. So they asked her to leave.
Oh, well, y'all got beef with Lisa.
I don't have a beef with her, but it was kind of her own fault.
Y'all are beefing.
Well,
I know. Angela was kind of nervous about it. She said, "That's your friend over there." And she didn't even see me the whole time she was there.
Did you know? You didn't know about any of this?
Oh no, I knew about it because I saw her. Lisa was very moved by some of the people up on stage.
Oh,
which is fine.
Did she cry?
She was just too obnoxious.
Right. She was.
Unfortunately,
but she's a loud person anyway.
Right, I can be loud too. I can be loud too.
Can you be loud though?
Oh yeah, I could be loud.
As loud as
she didn't even recognize. Ease looked so good that night.
Really?
He looked so good. She didn't even recognize him because he debuted his new haircut, which is a fine. Would you call that a?
That's more like a. Looks like you shaved your head. Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
see, I think
she didn't look too happy when she was leaving, so I felt kind of bad.
I think you should let your hair grow long.
No, I don't like.
How did she even get in? So somebody bought her a ticket?
I think she took advantage of that Nick Willer offer.
Oh,
I know she don't have $50.
Oh,
well, I know, but Nick didn't buy her a ticket.
Yeah, that's
how is she sure.
Well, I don't know, but she didn't get in.
That's what I'm curious about.
That was a one ticket thing, and
maybe she snuck in then.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, so you are making an accusation.
Then if she snuck in, then that's why she was asked to leave.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I didn't know there was just a one-time offer.
Maybe she told someone a fun.
He wasn't buying. I mean, they're $50. He wasn't buying everybody a damn ticket.
The story's making sense to me now that she snuck in. Then,
right?
Unfortunately,
so you're accusing her of sneaking in.
I'm not accusing her of anything, but
really,
security found out about it.
You just said she snuck in.
Well, if the security found out about it, then.
What if she actually bought her ticket and you just smeared her good name?
We don't even know what really happened.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. But
do you want to take a moment to apologize to Lisa?
If she's listening, I'm sorry.
Unless you all are beefing.
I don't know. Whatever happened, it wasn't a good scene, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
sounds to me like y'all got beef.
No, I don't have any beef with her.
A little bit of beef.
Y'all ought to team up with them.
You're not even Easy G today. You're Beefy G.
That's right. Yeah, Beefy G.
Well, we all got issues to work on. God knows I got my own. Everybody's got issues.
You know what? I've worked out all my issues, and I'm fine.
I have too. I'm pretty much.
But everybody has issues they need to work on.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, but close.
Some have more than others, unfortunately. So
yeah.
Leave it at that.
Right.
Now, how is your feet? How is your feet and your legs?
Awful.
Oh,
he's having a hard time walking.
Oh, yeah. Might be time to do the amputation.
No, is it getting worse though? I mean, do you need to?
Still the same.
I know, but are you checking on it? Is a doctor looking at it?
Oh yeah, we got to go physical therapy tomorrow and Friday.
All right, and how do you get rid of that?
Well, the way to get rid of it is you got to go to physical therapy. In the following week, I got to get one of my legs bandaged for 3 days, and then eventually go on to the next leg, and that's going to get the swelling down. And then once I get the swelling down, I got to wear those compressive stockings for the rest of my life.
For the rest of your life?
Yep.
Wow.
Because there's a good chance to come back.
Oh.
Now, you have to wear those socks in the summer, too?
Yeah, but I won't be wearing them until the swelling comes down. So
right.
It's a long process.
Well,
maybe Uncle Al has some old socks lying around.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. That way you can still be close to Uncle Al.
These are medical stockings. So.
Does your ex-wife, by the way, know that you lost Uncle Al's sweater?
Yeah. Well,
Holly is her name.
Holly? Does Holly know this?
No, but
I want to find out more about this Holly and find out her side of the story.
Well, we know this much. We know that she had a restraining order against Easy G.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to come out, but it slipped.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hey, you know what? People get crazy when they're in love, you know?
Yeah.
Isn't that also the name of your first album, Restraining Order?
Yeah.
By Easy G?
Yeah.
On Def Jam?
Does that restraining order still in effect?
No, that was only for a year.
Oh, okay. Now you're all set.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, good. We're glad you're all set.
I don't care to see her anytime soon.
Right.
Right.
You don't get together at Christmas?
No.
Sounds like sour grapes to me. I think you're still pining for her.
Well, what happens is, when he was married, the king of all farts and Eric's mom would take him out to eat sometimes, and she'd always buy the most expensive thing on the menu.
Yeah, salmon.
She would get the salmon.
Which is rude. That is rude.
Lobster is the most expensive.
Now, you can't block your, you're blocking your mouth with
lobster is the most expensive, so it was the second expensive.
Right.
Right.
Well, that doesn't make it okay. I can understand why you divorced her.
No, she divorced me.
I always get that wrong. I can't imagine anyone divorcing Easy
It's like
G.
twisting the knife, Matt.
I know.
You know?
I mean well.
Right. At least now you can talk about it. Like, we're not bringing you back to a horrible emotion, right? You kind of laugh about it now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It wasn't a laughable moment when it happened.
And one thing I would never do is twist the knife in any way. I mean, I just don't. That's just not something I do.
That was one of my favorite morning. I'm going to say, the Easy G birthday show was one of my favorite morning shows in my top 10.
Oh, wow.
It was really, really awesome. I know we give him a hard time, but Amanda,
I got emotional.
Amanda McCarthy was singing a very beautiful song.
Yes.
And literally, like, he did. He was very, very emotional. And
yeah, then she sang it again on the Rob Azevedo show on Friday.
Oh, you're blocking your mouth again.
She sang it again on the Rob Azevedo show on Friday with Tom and 2 other songs.
Did you feel like she was sort of cheating on you in a sense by performing the song again on Rob's show?
No, I think it's great. The more shows she can get on, the better.
Oh, right.
Well, did you cry?
No. She's been on a lot of different radio stations besides this station.
Right. But what I'm saying is, you didn't cry this time.
No.
It was really awesome to see. I didn't exploit your crying. Not till a couple days later when I made the soundbite.
Right. This one. Yeah.
But still, like, I felt for you that day because he wasn't crying like because he was sad or anything. He was just emotional about. She came in. And musicians don't get up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Usually
sorry.
They don't. Usually they never do.
And she did this just specifically for Eric here.
Uh-huh.
And because she said Eric has been there since she started playing out.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Biggest fan, super fan right
Very
here.
nice.
Easy.
Very nice. And she's never had any kind of restraining order against you.
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, good. I guess you'd find out the hard way if she did.
It's like a sauna in here.
Sauna. It is warm.
I'm going to have to hit the road because I got to go home.
Where are you going now?
Well, wait. Before you leave, Eric, so we do have a few things in the Facebook live chat to address. So Pete Trouble Morse says, "Hey Matt, how about some smooth jazz?"
Oh, there you go.
We can put that on in the background. I know how much you. I know, Eric, that every time you come in, you are craving that.
My mother loves smooth jazz.
Can we do some love advice? Can you give out one?
Ooh, good idea.
Can you give out one? If someone calls in right now, 250-6007, if you're having a problem in your love life, Easy G here is going to solve your problem. 250-6007.
It has to be a simple one.
Yeah, it can be a simple one. If you call in right now, 250-6007, and give us a problem you're having in your love life, Easy G is here for you to solve it. And, me and Matt and I will also try to help you out, too.
Yes.
This is bringing back Easy G's Love Nest.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Very, very wonderful. Well, of course, the smooth jazz that we're hearing.
Stereo. Looks like it's going to start to pour.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you got to get right in
It's
there.
going to look like it's going to start to pour soon.
Right.
By the way, Angela says in the Facebook live chat that Lisa, your former love interest, CZG, was really enjoying herself, and I kind of wish she could have quieted down and stayed.
Yeah, she was getting really nervous.
Yes. Michael Albert says, Peter White in the afternoon. Yes, Peter does exist outside of just mornings. Pete Trouble Morse says, any other ailments you want to talk about, Eric?
Oh, I got another funny story.
All right.
About a phone call.
Get
about
right
an
up
ailment?
there.
Stop and Shop days. I was outside. I said, wow, look at this. $5 bill on the floor.
On the ground?
On the ground, yeah. And when you know the next day, another $5 bill on the ground.
That's funny because I lost 2 $5 bills. What year was this?
Years ago. Stop and Shop.
At Stop and Shop, I lost 2 $5 bills.
No way.
Years ago?
I did. You owe me $10.
And I was looking for a $5 bill the third day in a row, but it didn't happen. What are the odds of finding a $5 bill on the floor?
Right.
It's like 2 days in a row.
Knowing it was someone else's money.
Right.
I wouldn't do it if it was a $100 bill, but it was $5. They put it in my pocket. And shut my
You
mouth.
wouldn't do it if it was a $100 bill? I would.
$100 bill, I'd bring it inside because I feel kind of obligated. It could have been somebody's rent.
Right.
But it's $5. It's
or a great night out.
Who pays their rent with $100?
Well, part of their rent.
Oh, part of their rent. Right. I was
It
going to
could
say.
be part of their rent, and I would feel obligated because I found people's purse once, twice, 3 times, as they say, a lady.
Right.
And I always bring the purse in. The one lady did it. I brought the purse in. She gave me $40.
3 times.
She gave me $40 reward.
Oh, really?
And another lady gave me $20.
Wow.
I find that people's purse, they believe everything behind it. As you know, Uncle Al's sweater, water bottles, sunglasses.
Well, how much money, if someone returns Uncle Al's sweater to you, how much money are you going to give them?
You could give them that $10 you found on the ground.
We'll
I'll probably give a $10 reward. Yeah.
Well, let's put an APB out right now for Uncle Al's sweater.
I think somebody stole it. That's what I think.
It is a maroon cardigan. It's very special to our friend Ease here.
I hope somebody didn't throw it away. I told that to the lady.
No one's having trouble in trouble with love. Because you're ready to give out some love advice, aren't you?
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, give us a call, 603-250-6007. Or you can always, on the Facebook live chat, say something, too, if you have a particular problem that you want addressed by Easy G, the love doctor.
Here comes the rain.
Here comes the rain again. Oh, my goodness. It's very muggy out.
God knows we need more rain, Matt. Like we need a hole in it.
Right. Wow. That's
an oldie but a goodie.
Yes. What a great expression that is. My goodness.
You hear that one, Peter? We need more rain. Like we need a hole in the head.
That's right.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you.
You got 1 million of them, man.
That's why you're the star that you are.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Do you feel like a star? How good do you feel about yourself these days?
Sometimes I feel like a star. The other day I was walking home. I was walking. Where was I the other day? I was walking somewhere yesterday, and some guy from the city.
Don't lie.
Some guy. No lie. Some guy from the city had his window open. He goes, "Hey, Easy G."
There you go.
Wow.
I said, "Hey, thanks for listening." I always try to respond to, "Hey, thanks for listening."
That's good. Yes.
They can listen to anywhere. They can listen to any station. They can listen to the Morning Buzz. They can listen to the
right.
OK
For some
morning
reason,
show.
They're listening to us.
Right. God knows why, but they are.
Wow. Matt and I try to put out quality product here.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
Like you said, they could be listening to any show they want. There's tons of stations on.
We work very hard on our shows.
Yes.
I'm not saying you didn't, but they always listen to another station.
Well, that's
listening to you bore the living hell out of everybody.
Oh, I warned you guys. Virtual John Hopwood is cantankerous.
He's in a bad mood today.
Well, yeah, he always is. Virtual John Hopwood, of course.
Right.
Yes. He's not the jubilant personality that the real John Hopwood
is. Boy, opening that window changes everything.
It really does. It really does. Wow.
I guess nobody wants love advice, so I'm going to give him 5 minutes and I have to leave.
All right, so we're going to 5 more minutes on the love advice. Actually, I think Virtual John Hopwood has a question.
And my bowels are in an uproar.
Oh, apparently
you can see it on the show.
I'll just add more of a statement, actually. So very nice. And by the way, Eric, I apologize that, I don't know if you've noticed this, and I don't know if you're aware of this, Peter, but whenever Eric calls the show, he ends up getting interrupted and talked over by Virtual Dave Ridley.
Yeah, it is kind of annoying.
Yeah, I mean, that, I think...
No, I don't.
Well, he's denied it, of course.
He doesn't do it. He said he didn't do it.
Right. I don't know why anyone would do that to Easy G, because when Easy G calls, he always, lets everyone else speak. And
why are you in
respond.
such a rush to get out of here?
Yeah,
I got to go home and rest my feet.
Well,
put your feet up. You want to sit on the couch? You want to trade? You want to lay down?
I got to go lay down.
No, lay down right here.
No, I'm not going to lay down.
Why not? We'll even
lay down on my bed.
No, really, lay down right here.
We actually have a call. I think someone might need some love advice. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Here we go.
Yeah. It's Jenny.
Oh, hi, Jenny.
Oh, Jenny.
I got a question.
Oh, growing. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Tell me how to spice it up.
Is everything all right in your relationship, Jenny?
I think it is.
All right.
I think it is.
All right, good.
But, every relationship can use a little spicing up.
Sure.
So what do you got for
really?
me?
So, Ease, how does Jenny spice up her relationship? How do they spice things up?
Maybe Matt could get a haircut.
Can you move your hand away from your
Matt
mouth?
could get a haircut.
How dare you?
Wait a second.
About 7 or 8 inches.
No, but I'm telling you.
What do you think of that, Jenny?
That's not what spicing it up means.
Well, it's not. It's something that came to my head all of a sudden.
Right. Well,
I knew I'd get a reaction out of Matt.
Wow.
What do you think spicing up means there, buddy?
I don't know.
And I think you know. I think you know. Go ahead, Ease. Don't be afraid.
Boy.
Just say.
I don't know.
We talked about it the other day.
No hornet's nest there.
No, it's not a hornet's nest. This is real life.
Come on, you said you were going to give us your advice.
You try, Peter.
And I called in.
You try, Peter.
No, this is Easy G's love nest, not
boy.
Peter
Yeah.
White's love nest.
No, man, I don't want to hear from. I mean, Pete's a nice guy and everything, but I called.
You don't
want to
know. You don't want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, no, you have herpes. I know all about you.
Right, exactly.
Well, we did hear that.
I definitely I have herpes.
Oh my goodness! How embarrassing!
Oh my God! I hope Stephanie's not listening.
I throw it all out there, man.
It's all about suppression.
Right.
Oh my God!
Yes.
You know what that was, Ease? Do you know what that was? The herpes thing? It was a match game answer.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was. You're right.
Right. Thank you. I don't really have.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm sure. I haven't had a flare up in years.
Wow. Yes. All right.
I don't even call it herpes. I call it herpes.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank because I know you too well, Jenny. So I can't. I don't know what to say.
No, really. Huh? Come on.
Oh, you got to give
If you
your
were a
love
total
advice,
stranger,
dude.
maybe I could say something wild. But...
All right, well, I'm going to keep listening for it.
Oh, see, okay, she's going to get off the phone, and
All
then
right,
you can say.
I'm gonna be leaving in about 1 minute. So.
No, you're not leaving, man.
Nope, I'm going to hang up right now so you can tell us all how we spice it up.
Let's spice it up.
Love you
Ease.
guys.
All right,
Bye.
Jenny.
It's time
Bye-bye.
it's time to spice things up in the afternoon.
All right. only thing I could think of is maybe Jenny could slap your rump.
Ooh,
Oh wow!
That's what I think.
You want Jenny to slap Matt's
I
bum?
couldn't say it in front of her though. I was too embarrassed.
Right, but you're not embarrassed now. So you think that to spice things up in their relationship, that Jenny should spank Matt?
Yep.
All right. All right.
That's my advice for the day.
So
that's where I'm coming from.
How do you feel about that, Matt? Do you like to be spanked?
Well, here's the thing. I think the bigger question is, do I like that Eric apparently visualizes me being spanked by Jenny?
Right.
Oh boy.
So you're picturing Matt naked.
No.
That's what that means.
Well, he didn't say that, but
no,
I think
I didn't say that.
it is clearly implied. This isn't the morning show. I'm never actually. I'm extremely hairy, so I'm never truly nude anyway.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Are you really that hairy? You have like a big hairy back. And...
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm
no.
a Yeti. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. Super hairy.
What's a Yeti mean?
I'm a Yeti American.
It means he's very hairy.
Yes.
Oh, I guess I'm not one then.
It's thick, rich, and buttery.
That's right.
Oh boy.
That's why I need to be brushed.
Oh boy.
So you so that's your advice. So you want Jenny to slap my rump.
Yep. On that note, I gotta go.
All right.
That's gonna kill me. So.
Oh, come on, man.
No,
We're having
come
fun
on.
with you today. It's great to hang out with you in the afternoon.
I know, but I gotta go.
Do you
All
have,
right.
I was feeling better. I would stay longer.
any suggestions for music that should be playing while she's doing this to me? Like maybe some smooth jazz?
Yeah, definitely. Some smooth
Or maybe
jazz.
some Rump Shaker. Who did Rump Shaker? I can't
That
remember.
would be Rex and Effect.
Rex and Effects. Hang on, don't go anywhere yet, Easy G. We got one more call.
Oh boy.
All right,
Hang-
one more call. Put the headphones back on.
Hang in
All
there.
right, one more phone call.
Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this? Hello? Is it the Phantom? Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, so this is Michael Albert, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yes, Michael Albert.
So-
Do you have a love question for Easy G?
Got a question for Eric. My girlfriend, she had to move up to Pike, New Hampshire, and I wondered if he had any tips on maintaining a long-distance relationship.
Ooh, good question.
That is a great question.
That's kind of difficult, I guess.
Well, that's not very encouraging.
This guy sounds sad.
Maybe it's you need to go. Maybe you need to go visit her this weekend.
If you know what I'm saying, Michael.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
How much do you miss her? You know.
Maybe bring her some Bill's Donuts.
Yes, bring her some Bill's Donuts. That's a good idea. You could use the business.
But turn down your radio before you drive up there.
Yeah, definitely radio feedback.
Oh, that's why it took so long for him to answer when I answered the phone.
Oh, he's listening to Facebook.
Oh, is it Facebook?
I bet it's Facebook because.
Okay.
There we go. How's
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks.
There we
All right,
go.
I gotta go now. That's it, I'm done.
I was
All
hoping
right.
for a little more out of that, but oh well. Poor Easy G. He's spent. He has to go. Apparently, his health is more a bigger priority to him than helping people with love.
Oh, definitely more
All right.
Yeah, because who needs love, right? Well, some would say all you need is love.
That's right.
Yes, well, all right, Easy G is leaving us. Well, we're almost out of time on this best of edition of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Of course, the show returns live next week right here on WMNH 95.3 FM. Of course, we are live weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. Of course, also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org, and on Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. So always fun to put these best ofs together, but we are almost out of time, so we only have time for one more very, very short clip. So let's go back and relive the introduction of one of our most beloved characters ever on Matt Connarton Unleashed, and that is, of course, virtual John Hopwood. I get in here, I get logged on, I'm getting ready for the show, and just as virtual Dave Ridley has taken over the computer, he is not alone. We have somebody else.
Listen to somebody. I'm not just saying Lenny Bruce or something. And, get a better routine.
Yeah, virtual John Hopwood is also here. I haven't heard from the real, the physical human John Hopwood, but virtual John Hopwood appears to have teamed up with virtual Dave Ridley. What will be interesting is the real John Hopwood, of course, as you may have noticed, not a particularly big fan of John McCain. So it'll be very interesting, I think, as the show goes forward, to see how the ghost of John McCain and virtual John Hopwood get along. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I have a clear record of bipartisanship.
So there you go. I don't know what that has to do with anything, ghost of John McCain.
Grow up.
Well,
grow up. Live in the real world.
Well,
right?
He's a ghost. I don't know what you want from him, virtual John Hopwood. They're already bickering. I knew this would happen. I knew these two would not get along.